Amy, we can't see you.
Okay, so we are going to get started. So thank you so much for joining us on week number 11. Can you believe it that you made it to week 11? So how awesome is that? I'm so excited for those of you who stuck it out for 8 weeks. Next week, we are planning to celebrate your success. So it looks like we only have one consultant on this call with us live today. So last week, Brenda did an amazing job talking about recruiting your host. And so does anybody want to share if they did reach out to their host this week? And how did that go, especially with the $39 kit rebate? Amy, did you reach out to anybody?
Well, my host was actually, she sells Scentsy, so she wasn't interested, but I have reached out to her.
Okay, all right. Have you reached out to any past hosts or any upcoming shows that you have going on?
I don't have any shows coming up just yet. I have a potential host that I have to get in touch with.
Okay.
Last week, I had a party last week.
Okay.
But besides that, I'm working on it.
Okay. So just a reminder that we want to ask our host 5 times about the business. We want to continue to make our 25 two-way contacts. Get those 8 to 10 bookings for March. March isn't over. Today's only the 12th, so we still have plenty of month left, especially if you're doing virtual parties. You can already start a party coming up here on the 15th and then the 22nd and the 29th. Well, I start mine on Friday, so I know those dates, but depending on the dates that you start them. So today we are going to talk about online resources that we have out there. And I meant to bring up my screen and I forgot. So let me share the screen here and take you to where you can go online and get some resources. So we're going to go, I meant to sign in prior, but I didn't. So we'll just go in and sign in now. I wanted to show you where you can find some great training on recruiting. So if you are having some issues, and I don't know why this makes me sign in every single time, but it does. All right, so we're just going to go to, I apologize for not having my screen up.
It's okay.
I did have it up, but then I don't know what happened to it. Okay, so you want to go to training, resources. Oh my goodness, now I forgot where I'm going. Where's my notes? Someone guide me. I'm like fumbling here now. I'm sorry, selling and recruiting. I'm sorry, I should have had this up. Recruiting experience. It's one of those days, if you know what my morning was like, it's just jam-packed. All right, so then if you just scroll down, you're gonna see all these wonderful recruiting resources that you have at your hands from home office. So of course, one of the things is if you click on this link for a limited time, we have the $39 kit. How amazing is that? We all should be asking everybody. Not only today, we're gonna talk about how to ask people at our parties, but you know, last week Brenda talked about asking your host, but you know, just past customers, past you know, anybody that ever hosted from you before, anybody that's ever ordered from you before, you need to be letting them know about this. There's some great conference training if you've never been to conference, or if you've been to conference. This is going to be your homework today, is to go back and watch one of these conference trainings. We have Remove the Fear, Replace It with the Desire to Recruit, and the Recruiting Culture Begins with You. So that's going to be your homework. So if you just click on those, you're going to see that you can go through this course, and it's going to teach you everything you need to know to get rid of that fear and become a rock star recruiter. All right. So that's one of the resources now. And then we have the amazing opportunity brochure. Anybody using the opportunity brochure?
Yes.
Yes. All of us leaders are. All right, so this is another wonderful thing. It is online as well as you can order on the supply order. So it is an amazing brochure that has the information about what, you know, you can kind of go through it and see, do they want money? What do they want out of this business? It has the kits in it. So a lot of great information, and it has inspirational stories in it as well. So that is a good tool to have on hand when you're out and about. When you're handing out mini catalogs, you could be handing out the opportunity brochure as well. So I'm not going to go through every one of these, but I just wanted you to know there's podcasts out there. There's even the host updated kit coupon is out there. So is anybody using the kit coupon? Are you putting that in your host packets? This is really hard just talking to leaders. I don't think did we lose Amy? Is she still out there?
Amy's here. She's just silent.
Okay, she's hidden. Okay.
I'm still here.
Okay. So Amy, are you using the kit credit?
I haven't put them in my things yet, but I actually forgot to put them in there. So I was planning on doing it.
Okay.
It doesn't help me if I don't.
Yeah, so maybe just going back and looking at some of these resources that are available to you will help, you remember to go out there and take a look at these. But we do have a resource that we have coming up. I'm sure your uplines are probably doing opportunity events, but the home office is doing an opportunity event coming up on March 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern time, I believe. So I guess we don't want that.
Yes.
Is that when it is? I'm trying to get back to my PowerPoint now. All right, so let me start my slides here so that we can just stay on track.
While you're doing that, I actually just want to take a minute to thank Dee, because she jumped in at the last minute to take over this call because I was supposed to do it and my mom has been in the hospital. So thank you, Dee.
Oh, you're so welcome. That's what we're here for.
Congratulations to Amy for being live on this call. We should give you extra points and gold stars for being live.
Exactly.
Have one another's backs, right?
That's right. I'm just wondering if anybody else is having an issue with Facebook having issues today. Maybe they can't get on and get the link. So I'm thinking that might be the reason we don't have people on here today. All right, so here we are. The Pampered Chef webinar starts March 19th, 8 to 9 Central Time, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock Eastern. All right, so we're going to move in after we talked about the resources. You know where to find them. I didn't want to bore you with going through each and every one, but want you to know that they're out there, and you definitely want to take a look at that, because the home office has done a great job of giving us not only resources for recruiting, but booking, selling, everything that we need to know is out there. So the next thing we want to talk about is how to recruit at your parties. What can you be doing at your parties to get some recruit leads? So one of my favorite things to do at parties is to ask me a question about my job. And you can be as nosy as you want, I always tell them. And it can be anything, because we want them to be nosy. We want them to be asking, some pretty good questions. So even if they're not even if you're like sitting there thinking, oh, they're all older, or they're not interested, don't prejudge. You just have to make it a point to do this at every one of your parties, at least one of these activities at every your party. So there's times that I think, oh, I'm not going to do it, and you know what? Lo and behold, that's usually the one I get a good lead from. So you just never know who's sitting at your party wanting to make a little extra income, get out of the house, pay a bill. So this is a great way to find out who might be interested in the business. So does anybody play the ticket activity game?
I do.
Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a roll of tickets, and you're just going to say, okay, guys, and this is at the end of the party, and I do this prior to my door prize drawing slip. And then I just pull out the roll of tickets and say, okay, everybody, we're going to play a little game. You're going to have an opportunity to ask me any question about my job. I don't know who here tonight. No one has need job on top of their forehead. So I'm just, going to give you the opportunity to ask me any questions that you want about my job. Not about the products. We already did that. If you have any more products questions, we can do that at the end. So then they're just going to go through and ask you questions about the job. If you are new to the business and you're not sure what to say, there is a ticket activity game on the website that you can print out, and you can actually use the questions and use the answers then as a guide. So you can actually give people the questions and you can have the answers there, or you can learn the answers to the questions and give the questions out. So if you're not comfortable when people says, oh, how much money, well, how much money you make, or, how do you earn a trip, or maybe you're just not comfortable with whatever they ask you. Do you have to keep an inventory? Those are usually some of the, we know we don't have to keep an inventory, but maybe if you're just caught off guard and don't know, there is a list of questions, a ticket activity game out there that you can print off on the website. And if you can't find it, just reach out to your director and I'm sure she can guide you to it. All right, so on a virtual party, this is what I like to, this is one of my posts on my virtual parties. So, did someone say something?
I said, you're looking good.
Okay. So anyway, so this is what I post on my virtual party. This is one of my posts, and this gets a lot of activity on it. I used to ask my host to post something like this, and then I found switching it up this way and me making the post with my picture out there, it tends to get a little bit more activity. So then I do answer the questions. I give them some question choices, and then I always take it offline with them. So I'll say, hey, Susan, great questions. Just curious, not sure if you were just asking to get a ticket, or is it something that you were interested in? We have this amazing $39 starter kit this month, and I would love to tell you more. So just taking it offline and seeing who really is truly interested. So you don't want to just be answering the questions, because then you're not, you have to follow up. When you're at your live party at full service checkout, you can say, hey, you had some great questions, can I give you some information? But you don't have that opportunity face-to-face on a virtual party, so you got to take it offline and do it in a private message.
Dee, I have a question.
Yes.
When you said you used to give your host a post, are you not sending that one anymore that's in the host coaching guide?
No, I do not. If anybody's following Steve's host coaching guide, on day, what's today? Today's day 4. On day 3. So I post this on day 3. This is the post for day 3. So what I tend to do on day 3 is I give my host an interactive post, and it's usually something like, okay, I'm going to give a prize. Our consultant's giving a prize away today. Let's play this fun game, and it's just start a name of a food that starts with A and ends in Z. And the reason I do that on Tuesday is because then on Wednesday, I use that post to tag people in. So there, you get a lot of action on that post. So there's a lot of people involved on that post because everybody wants to win a prize, and they're going through, taking turns doing their food. So that's usually what I do, and I do this instead. Any other questions about asking a question either at a live party or a virtual party?
Remember you just said that you do that because on that post, are you saying you're posting that picture as a comment on that post?
On this post, on the question post?
You just said that you use the post that everybody was commenting on because there's a lot of people on there that you can tag.
Yeah. So
I just lost you.
Okay, sorry. I should have. Okay. So on tagging day, so I run my parties Friday through Thursday. So on Wednesdays, I tag people and remind them that, hey, 2 days left to the party. If you want to help support Susie Host, here's the shopping link. And so I use that post. So I just go down and say, boom, boom, boom. You know, if Cheryl commented, you know, apricot, and Susan commented, you know, bread, you know, I'm just, and if Cheryl didn't order, you know, I'll go to Cheryl and say, I just tag her right there and hit reply.
Okay, so this is not tied into the extra ticket.
No.
Sorry, I lost you there.
No, yeah, I was just telling Cheryl what I do in replace of that post. Because if you're following Steve's host coaching,
right.
Our team is, so that's probably why she asked it. But on day 3, we have the host post something about the business opportunity.
I have a second question. Your reply that you did, will you please post that or make it part of a questionnaire?
Yes.
Please, thank you. This month there was a $39 kit. I don't know if you just wanted a ticket or were generally interested, whatever you said there.
Okay. No problem.
And Dee, when I do the ticket game, and girls, when you do it, I have questions prepared. If nobody's asking, I lay a ticket down to somebody and I ask the question. I said, oh, great question. And I've already asked it, but I gave her a ticket. And that kind of relaxes people and gets them, then they start asking. So if you start doing a ticket game and they don't do anything, that's a good way to get it engaged.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, Cora, because sometimes, you know, people are afraid to play the game because maybe at their past party they didn't have anybody participate. So giving people questions is a great way to get it started, or even asking your host to get it started for you as well.
Oh, true.
Okay, Stealing Hearts is our next one. Has anybody done Stealing Hearts? Okay, so Cheryl's been doing a lot more virtual parties now, but Cheryl had good results when she did Stealing Hearts at her live parties. So I asked Cheryl, because I really don't play it, so I think it would be better coming from someone who actually does these types of activities and has results from them. So I asked Cheryl to go ahead and share how she does Stealing Hearts.
Okay, so for Stealing Hearts, you want to get gift bags, and you want to get 3 that are of different color or that have different prints on them, designs, whatever, but make sure they're different. And the reason you do this is because when people shout out, I want a green bag, if you have 3 green bags, then it's confusion. So you want to make sure you have 3 different bags. You fill the bags with maybe a couple Twix-It clips, or you can use a Season's Best. Anything that you can get from the outlet, just something cheap, something little. I've used candles in the past. I have used the notepads that you can that have a magnet that you can put on your refrigerator. Just a simple little gift. People love winning something, so it doesn't really matter what it is. So you're going to tuck a gift into there, put some tissue paper in it so that they can't see what's in the bag. Then you're going to take a deck of cards. You remove all the hearts, and I use the clubs. So remove all the hearts and clubs from that deck of cards, and you're going to separate them out. Then at the party, you're going to announce the game. Tell them we're going to play a really fun game called Stealing Hearts, and explain to them how it works. So for every question they ask you about the business, and it's the same questions that Dee had mentioned, you can pull from the website. You're just going to use those and tell them no product questions, please. We have another time that we'll talk about those. But they're going to get a card, a hearts card, for every question that they answer. So the more cards they have, the better their chances are of securing a bag. So once you've given out all the cards, they're asking questions and all the cards have been given out, then you start flipping from your deck of whatever you've saved for yourself, spades, clubs, you start flipping. So if I flip the king of clubs and Dee says, oh, I have the king of hearts. So Dee gets to pick the first bag. She gets her choice of the first bag. She doesn't look in it. She just hangs on to that bag. I draw the second card, and it's the say it's the 2 of hearts, and Cora has the 2 of hearts. So Cora's going to pick the next bag, and then Jennifer picks the 3rd bag. So now it's Susan's turn, or whoever has that next card that comes up, and we'll just say it's Susan, because this is really where the fun comes in, and this is what the game is all about, stealing hearts. So Susan says, oh, I have the next bag, or I get to pick next. Well, there's 3 bags that are already gone. Now she gets to steal a bag from either Dee, Jennifer, or Cora. So it makes it really fun because people don't want to give up that bag. I've had someone hand it to a 4-year-old and say, here, honey, you hold this because no one's going to steal a gift from a 4-year-old. And let me tell you, they had no mercy. They stole that gift from that 4-year-old. So it makes it really fun. And I've also had people end up with all of the gifts because they've had cards and it's just how it played out. So it's a really fun, interactive game, that you can use to get people interested in your business and get them talking about the business. And then, just mentally note the people who were asking questions and who were really interactive with the game. And then that's who you're going to reach out to. So then after after the game is done, you're all out of cards, then everybody gets to look in what bags they have in front of them and they can, see what their gifts were. So it's just a really fun game. And I did have a really fun time every time I used it, but I've been doing virtual parties now. So I don't get to play it anymore. But
thank you, Cheryl. So that what Cheryl said, everybody wants to win a prize, so it doesn't have to be big, and everybody wants to have fun. So and they say that everybody remembers what happens at the beginning of the party and what happens at the end of the party. And so how awesome is it to end your party with so much fun, everybody like scrambling for prizes and just having a good time and laughing and carrying on. So that's going to take, that's going to mean a lot because people are going to say, oh my goodness, that party was so much fun, because that's the last part they're going to remember. Okay, so that's a great game to play as well at your party to get some introduction. Another game that you can do is an envelope game with paychecks in it. And what you're going to do is have like 3 or 4 envelopes, and you're gonna have them numbered 1, 2, 3, or some people do 4. And you're gonna look for people. You want to look for people in the room who are most excited, or maybe someone that you have your eye on that, oh my goodness, she would be great to be on my team. Or even your host, that maybe she's been asking you, you've been asking her, you're on your 4th or 5th time asking her to do the business and she's kind of on the fence. So maybe these are the people that you want to look for to give these envelopes to. And so what you're going to do is hand out these envelopes, and before they open it, you're going to tell them a little bit about the person. And so I can on the group, I'll share some stories. I'll put out there what you can say, or you can, and maybe what I'll do is make a post, and maybe all of you can share your stories with a paycheck, and then you guys can take those stories and paychecks and put these into an envelope. Okay, that way we can have a variety of them. But you're going to just tell the little story. Laura works full-time as a teacher and is a single mom of a 2-year-old. Her Pampered Chef pays for her daughter's daycare. And so you're going to say, Susan, who has envelope number 1? Oh, Susan, you have number. Tell us how much. Tell us what she did and how much she earned. And then Susan's going to say, oh my goodness, she did 3 cooking shows, 1 catalog shows, and 2 online orders, and her paycheck was $650. What would you do with that kind of money? So that is a fun way. It really gets people looking at how much money you can really make in this business. So you can have someone that's a brand new consultant starting out. You can have someone who's an established leader in the business. So you can just get people thinking, oh my goodness, if I start out and just do this, I can make this amount of money. Or, if I really start building a team, I can really quit my full-time job and do this. So you're going to just, get a lot of people's attention that are sitting there thinking, and maybe they can relate to it. Maybe they do have someone in daycare. Maybe they do have someone that, is trying to pay for college or whatever. And these stories are going to relate to them. So you can, we're not going to go through that. I do the same thing on my virtual parties. So you can take this to the virtual world. And this is the post that I make on my virtual party. So I do it twice. I do it on day 2 and day 3 of my part. On day 2, yeah, day 3 and day 4 of my 2 and 3 of my party. So I do two days of pre-party, and then on day 2 and day 3, I'll post one. I just post two of these. So once on day 2 and once on day 3. So you can do the same thing there. And what I do on this party, so if they're guessing, so here's the story, right? I guess I pulled up envelope 1. So this is a friend. She's a nurse, works full time, married, has 2 children, started Pampered Chef to pay for vacations for her family to travel. So this is just fun money for her, right? She's done 7 virtual parties in her first month to get off to fast track. Guess her first month paycheck. So people start guessing, $500, $600, whatever they're guessing. And then I'm going in there and I'm not telling them right away. I'm saying you're hot, you're cold, higher, lower. And this just kind of goes on. So I know these posts are made going on. So I always pull up my notifications and just look for this picture in the corner. And so then I just kind of go throughout the day, just saying higher, lower, hotter, cold, and just kind of getting them in. And then I will post the actual paycheck for this. And so this paycheck was like $1,400. And so then I'll private message people that have played the game. What would you do with an extra $1,400? Is this something that you could see yourself doing? Okay. Any questions about that?
That's really good, Dee. I like that.
Thanks.
Post the graphic and the stories in the Disney group for these?
Sure.
Okay. And I just want to add that I do the paycheck game at my live parties. And instead of my reading the envelopes, I have the story listed on the envelope. And I pass them out and I have them read the story. So they are reading it. And then the directions tell them, open the envelope. Because I think it's really powerful for people to hear from the people at the party in their own voice sharing about it.
That's a great idea, Susan. Okay. All right, so now we're going to talk about the why bag. And Jennifer Courtney is a pro at this one. So I had asked Jennifer, I had given some ideas here, but Jennifer, you take it away and share what you do with your why bag.
Okay, so one of my directors actually gave me a present in a Disney bag at the beginning of this year. So I actually use my little Disney bag as my why bag. And so after we've done the demonstration, and all throughout my demonstration, I have a ton of silly one-liners. And several of them happen to deal with joining my team and different things. And I'm very funny throughout all my parties. So all the puns just go running wild. So I tell them, all right, so like this month we're making the pasta primavera with fresh gremolata, and the noodles have to cook for 10 minutes. So while we're standing there in the, thank you. While we're standing there in the kitchen around the island, I say, okay, so we've heard all my little silly puns and whatever throughout, and I just wanted to share a little bit about the business opportunity with you. And I say, so pass the bag and pull it out. And each item in this bag represents something of my business. And I just want you to guess what you think it is. And I say, every single item in the bag is related to my business. So pull everything out. So they go in the room, they each pull out a thing. So I have like a building block. All right. So the block is for 2 reasons. I said 2 reasons. 2 reasons. The first reason is I had 2 kids while selling. So people will say, oh, I can't do this. I have kids. And I go, so do I. I have 3, and I had 2 while selling, and my youngest was 2 when she started. And then, but I also say it also is a building block because over the 19 years I've been selling, I've built a business. And so then someone else will come through and they have this is our Feeding America. You can't really see it on here, but it says Feeding America on the side. And I'll say, that's right. And this one kind of is a dual player. And I'll say, this is 2 things. Number one, you have the opportunity to donate at the end of the party, and I go into that with the food bank. And that's the time that I talk about the food bank. But I also say, you know, this is something that's been near and dear to my heart. I grew up on food stamps, so I know what it's like to go without. And last year I had the extreme honor of being #1 in the company for raising the most money for food banks across around our area. Over 24,000 meals were served because you find folks donated. And so that one has like a dual. So it's a little bit recognition, it's also an informing, and it's also just really cool. And then I have these 2 little wedding rings. And so people are like, and it serves 2 purposes. One, I tell them, hey, we're not getting married. We're just gonna date for a couple of parties.
Oh, cute.
All right. The other thing is that I help brides all across the central Indiana start their kitchen off with just a ton of products. So again, I'm advertising also my bridal showers, and I'll tell them a little bit about that. And then I have 5 luggage tags in here. So over the years, I've been on 20 trips with Pamper, getting ready with my 20th trip. So I have in here my Rome tag, and it was trip number 3. And I talk about how this was the first one that I wanted to go to Rome since ever, and to be able to go. Disney, I have in here for 2 reasons. It was trip number 6. This was the first trip to Disney when I was pregnant with Nolan. And I talk about how we're going to Disney this year. Med Cruise, I talk about this one because I took the family on that one. Maui, because next month everyone's going to Oahu, not me, but whatever. Oh, by the way, instead of Oahu, I'm going to Paris. But not with Pampered Chef, with Melanie. And then the Riviera Maya was amazing. So I tell them that this year I'm not taking the trip, but they're putting $1,500 in my account, and I took that money and bought tickets to Paris. Then I bring out a rubber band. So this represents obviously flexibility, that I have the flexibility in my business to be able to run it around my crazy family schedule. And then I have a blowhorn, and the blowhorn means every time I show up for work, whether virtually or in live person, I show up at a party, and it's so much fun. I love getting to choose who I work with. And if I say, you know, the last job or the current job you have, you may absolutely hate your boss. You know what? I get to choose who I want to work with. So if I don't like you, I don't have to book a party. And then I have my scraper, and no one can ever figure this out, but I tell them when I started my business, we were just scraping by. We were barely making ends meet. We were getting a huge amount of debt, and just having to be able to breathe at night. And then I have a congratulations ticket, and I tell them every month I sell, you know, $750 or $1,000 in sales, and a present shows up at my front door. And I ask them, how many of you have a job where you get a present showing up at your front door every single month? Then I have a copy of the current sign-on bonus and what's in the kit, so that I can remind them that this month is $39, and we talk about that. I have a copy of my biggest paycheck, which was, no, this isn't my biggest. This was January's paycheck because I wanted to be current, which was for $5,298. And then I tell them, turn the page and read. And so that was 7 cooking, 7 virtual, and 4 online orders. And so we talk a little bit about that. And then my most favorite thing in there I have is my calendar. And my calendar, and they are always like, and I'm like, okay, so it represents a couple of different things. So I'll tell them, you know, my calendar is I get to set my own pace. I get to choose the days that I want to work and that I don't want to work. And then I start flipping through it, and I'll say, and these are 4 of my besties. And I'm like, so this is in Chicago where we were hanging out for lunch one day. And this is down in, I think this was in Punta Cana, where we were all together on a vacation trip together. And I, working with Pampered Chef, it's like they send you on vacations with your best friends, and they pay for it. So where else can you have vacations paid for with your besties? And so I flip through it, and I'll say, this is actually in the bathroom in Chicago because we're always getting together. I'm like, this is a party we got to attend that they threw for us. It was a glow party. It was so much fun. I'm like, this is really cool because this one shows some of the recognition that we get, and you always want a really long ribbon. And I always joke and say, I'm so glad I'm not a boy because I would have to flip it every time I wanted to go to the bathroom. But, you know, I'll tell them the longer the better, you know, and I flip through it and I'm like, oh my gosh, after conference, my girlfriend and I hung out in Chicago and ran around, and look at me and one of my other besties. We were in the top 100. That was so fun to be recognized. I'm like, here we're getting ready to go on a gondola. We're getting ready to have so much fun. Oh my gosh, here we are hanging out in the pool and going around on bicycles. Oh my gravy, we had such a great time. look at this. This was really fun. This is back in that Feeding America and different things that I talked about earlier with the wristband. And I'm like, there's us again with all of our recognition. And I said, there's me and my friend. We were crossing stage for earning something in 2 categories. It was so much fun. Everybody was clapping. And I'm like, see, I'm like, look at this. We're in a cave, for heaven's sakes. Pampered Chef rented a cave and fed us dinner one night. I'm like, it's so swanky. And so they're all just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, the whole time through it. And so it's just a fun way that, you know, I get to share about the business and have a good time.
I love that. I love that. And I remember I used to do it way back, you know, a long time ago. So I think that, you know, you've inspired me to bring that back. So Jennifer had a lot of great things in her bag. No, I got to move you guys over. But, you know, you could put a credit card bill in there, or a credit card that you know, paid off, or, takeout menu. Just, you know, Jennifer had a block, you know, so anything that represents you and why you do this, that's what you want to put in there. You know, you could, you know, I wish I would have saved my travel tags. I never did, but I remember I had like one of the things, I think I had a cruise ship, Pampered Chef, when you go on vacations, used to send you little things, and I had like a little spongy cruise ship, and I would have that in there and talk about the trips that you can earn. So that it's just a fun way to talk about the business opportunity and get people interested. Yes.
I'm so sorry. I've had a lot of negative feedback about the giant bra, that it's been offensive at several parties. So
okay.
I've coached my people. If you want to put in something about support, you know, maybe a pair of pantyhose, you know, a little less bra. So some people pull out a giant one, and some people can get away with it. But I even had one girl message me and say, when I was telling her about it, about the show we were doing, she goes, oh, I had one girl who pulled out a giant bra, and we were all mortified.
Oh, geez. So yeah, maybe, you know, pantyhose is on the list too, but you know, we'll take that one off the list though, Jennifer. I appreciate the feedback, because I haven't done it for a while. So, but I was never comfortable taking a bra. So.
I have one question. I think Jennifer doing if we did a little live thing that we've uploaded to throw into our virtual parties, I think that would be amazing. I love it.
Well, you could, yeah, and people could do that live on their virtual parties, you know, and talk about it.
Yeah.
Why can't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything that you're doing at a live party, like the envelope game, the ticket activity, you can convert that into a virtual party.
Okay.
All right. So what is in it for you? And I know Brenda went through this last week with all of you. You know, just helping someone, seeing them achieve their dream is just like the best thing ever. Seeing their excitement. You're going to get 3,000 points for every recruit that qualifies. You're going to get 30 Pampered Chef dollars. You know, once you have one person on your team, you're going to promote to a senior consultant and get a 1% bonus on your sales and their sales. And then as a team leader, 2 consultants on your team. That's 2% bonus on your sales and their sales. And that's, you know, 6,000 points. So if you're trying to earn Disney, bringing people into the business is what's going to get you there. You know, we have people in this business that, you know, maybe you're not a big seller, but you know what? If you can be a recruiter, you will get there a lot faster, because just think 3,000 for one person, you know, that's like 3 $1,000 parties that you have to do. So, you know, director level is when you have 5 friends who join your team, you'll get a 3% bonus on your sales and their sales. 5 consultants qualified is 15,000 points. Do you see how fast you can jump to, Disney with 5 recruits? And this is the month. If you're going to do it, I mean, obviously we want you to recruit every month, but this is the month that the Pampered Chef has given us a gift with this $39 kit. And we should be shouting from the rooftop about this. And we were on on our director loop with the Pampered Chef. We as an organization in the Pampered Chef, we have brought in over 2,100 people already in the first 11 days with this $39 kit. So statistically, we're out to break our record of 6,000 that we did back in September with the $29 kit. So I just cannot say enough, encourage you enough to just ask, you know, and especially if you're doing, if you feel like you just don't know what to say, just, you know, just ask and just say, have you ever thought about doing this? And that's all you have to do is just get a conversation started. All right. All right, and then here's the kit. You know, Brenda showed you this last week. I stole some of her slides. And then two, when your new consultant comes in, not only are they getting a kit for $39, they have a chance to earn 250 Pampered Chef dollars, submitting that $12.50 in their first 30 days instead of the 100. And so that in itself, you know, getting people on board and then getting them qualified in that 30 days and then definitely getting your 3,000 points. All right. So here's some things you can say. Let's say somebody's at a party, and here's just something that you can say. Hey, Deb, it's Dee from Pampered Chef. I know you asked a question about the business, and I'm beyond excited because for the first time ever, we came out with a $39 starter kit, and it has $87 in products. You can try this business for $39. Yep, that's right, $39. What do you think? That's all you have to say. At a guest at a party, when you're doing full service checkout. It's as easy as that. If you don't ask, you'll never know. And they might go to the next party and the person might ask, and then you're going to miss out on that opportunity. All right. Words to say to someone who's fun that you like to work with. Same thing. I'm beyond excited. First time we came out with a $39 kit. I don't know if you've ever thought of doing something like Pampered Chef, but I think you'd be a lot of fun to work with. You can literally try this business for $39 this month. What do you think? Would you like to know more? Can I give you this opportunity brochure? All right. Another way to mention the business opportunity at your party is to use the catalog. Turn to the back of the catalog. You're going to see 3 starter kits. And obviously here that I just typed it out because, you know, I don't know how long the $39 kit, but obviously I'll say normally we have a $109 kit, but today it's $39. And I would pull out the flyer valued at over $450. Then we have a $159 kit that's over $650. And then we have the ultimate kit, $249. And you're going to get over $1,000 worth of products. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the best deal that I can give you tonight. So it's so easy to start your own business, and we could schedule you a kickoff party. I will come do that demonstration for you, and you'll make the commission yourself, still to be the host and receive all the host benefits, and anybody who books a future party will be yours to be your kickoff. It's a win-win. Most new consultants earn their starter kit money back in their first party or by second when we start off this way. And so what I do, you know, on my virtual parties, obviously you can't do this, but I take this off to the side in a message to them. I do talk about I do have the kit out there as well as one of the posts. Any questions about that? So use the catalog, it's there. And it does work. Remember, you're the one who can fill the world with sunshine. So. All right. So ask your host 5 times about the business. We're going to keep doing this. This is going to be your homework. Continue to do your 25 two-way contacts. You still want to be doing 8 to 10 bookings a month, because we ask you to do 8 to 10 because if you're not doing 8 to 10, then you're not in front of enough people. And if you're not in front of enough people, then you're not going to have anybody joining your team. Okay, share your recruiting goal with your director. Continue to use the trackers and watch where I'll be posting the Stealing Hearts YouTube video that you can watch. And then I think I forgot to put on here. Also, we're going to do the video from the resources from the home office. Anybody have any questions?
Love Goofy.
Amy, any questions?
Amazing, Dee. That was great.
Oh, thank you.
I don't have a question, but I just want to share one thing since you talked about the home office videos. If you are in any way feeling like you need some inspiration or you need to reignite your passion about the business to help you share it with others, there's actually a different video, and it's called Recruiting from the Heart. And I would encourage you to listen to that video. It's amazing. And it Julie Aldridge actually shares her story of how she got started in direct sales. And if that doesn't tug at your heartstrings, I don't know what will. And if that doesn't help you realize that you need to be sharing this business opportunity because you never know who can benefit, I don't know what will. So I would really encourage you, even if you just listen to the beginning and hear Julie's story, that is going to hopefully help you realize why it is so important to be sharing the business opportunity. And, you know, obviously I think all of us on this call know this, but anyone listening to the recording, this $39 kit is not coming around next month. It's not going to be here, you know, permanently after this. It's not going to be back in May. We don't know if we'll ever see it again. Don't look back in April and say, oh, I really should have taken the opportunity and shared with more people. Not only because of what it could do for your business, but more important, what it could do for somebody else. So share that because, you know, as Molly O'Connor said, who spoke on a Nationwide Leaders Call, it's really selfish not to.
Susan, can you post that recording of Julie?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much fun. You know, I know when this recruiting promotion came out, you know, I was pretty excited about it, and Cheryl was pretty excited about it. And, you know, and just sitting there, just messaging people, it really became fun because then you started getting people interested, and you just, it really, once you start it, you're going to see that you're going to be changing so many lives by reaching out. And as Susan said, if you don't, you're doing them a disservice. So we encourage you to go out there and invite someone to join the business for this $39. And as Susan said, it is not going to be here next month. So we have to take advantage of it. And it is an amazing deal. And this is the time, you know, so many times people say, I don't have $100 to get started. But a lot of times people have $39. You know, people go get their nails done for $39, buy a pair of jeans, fill up their gas tank. There's so many things that they do that cost $39. And this is something that can change their lives. So we have to let them know about it. So. All right. Well, thank you all. And thank you, leaders, for joining me. And next week, we will be celebrating all of you who has made it to the end. So, Amy, kudos to you for being on live with us today.
Yeah. It kind of looks like a dorm room kit. I don't know if you guys noticed that because it's all microwavable.
It is all microwavable too, and it is enough to do a party because you have the veggie strip maker. You could do like a zucchini pasta in there. So
yeah, it looks like a college student could get it and use it for, you know, making money at their school because it's perfect for dorm room parties.
Exactly.
Nice. Good idea.
And now is the time the college kids are looking for internships and summer jobs.
Yeah.
You know. This is
Yeah.
great money for them, you know, and if they come back to you and say, but, you know, all my friends are in college, I don't, you know, no one has money to buy the product, you know, something you can say, but all of your friends have parents, they have aunts, they have grandparents, right? They can host a party for them. They're the ones who are going to have the money to buy the stuff. So,
yep. All right.
There's dorm room RAs and all that kind of stuff too. So, I mean, there's lots of people that can still do shows. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.